One of the hard truths about studying history in the 20th century is that you learn pretty quickly that a lot of the progress that happened in technology, medicine, and even culture and art came as a result of the wars. World War II didn't just reshape society and politics, it also changed culture, and as a result, music. The war forced musicians to adapt, expose people to new sounds, and would accelerate the globalization and cultural blending which would eventually result in rock and roll. Before the Second World War, America was already diverse with genres. Jazz thrived in nightclubs. The blues told stories about hardships. Country music, folk music carried deep regional traditions. And swing music brought in those big band sounds. Radio made those sounds even more accessible than ever, but they were still largely separate. Then came the war, when the US joined in December 1941. Millions of Americans from all different backgrounds were sent overseas. Folk musicians from Appalachia met blues musicians from the Deep South. At the same time, the war made it a lot harder to maintain big bands. With so many musicians being drafted, groups got a lot smaller, leading to the rise of tighter, rhythm-heavy styles, an early step towards what would eventually become rock. Meanwhile, American soldiers who were stationed abroad brought blues and jazz music to new audiences. England, of course, in particular, absorbed these sounds like a sponge, setting the stage for the British invasion 2 decades later. Segregation still dominated the US at this point, and early rhythm and blues struggled for radio airplay. But fans sought it out anyway, and music became a tool for social change, mirroring the racial and cultural shifts that were taking place across the country. There were a lot of musicians that served in the Second World War, even famous ones. Woody Guthrie was in the Merchant Marines, Howlin' Wolf enlisted right after Pearl Harbor, and Tony Bennett was with the Americans when they liberated the concentration camps. Glenn Miller led the Army Air Force Orchestra, traveling around Europe playing music for the troops. That is until May 1944, when he disappeared in a plane crash over the English Channel. The war disrupted absolutely everything, but the music and the culture found a way. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, you should go check out my YouTube channel where I did a deeper dive on music in the Second World War.